everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm glad you're here. It's time for another mystery envelope from the Makers with Heart. This month's envelope was sent by Jessica, and all of us got the same things. So here's what's inside: some papers from Cakeday, some retired papers from Jingle Joy, a zip strip from Cakeday, and some silver shimmer trim. This month's rules are that we can use either white or black cardstock plus one sheet of patterned or solid paper. So I'm going to choose black and white. The stamp set that I'm going to use for this is the Happy Cake Day stamp set from the core catalog. And then the embellishment pieces that we can add, besides the silver shimmer trim, are wild berry colored pieces. So the flower sequins, loose sequins, dots, gems, ribbon, etc. Okay. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to make 2 cards. The first one is going to be a slimline, and I'm going to begin by cutting down my Cake Day patterned paper to several 2 by 2 inch square pieces. All right, so I've got both sides of the Cake Day, and then I've got this piece of green apple cardstock. I'm going to cut that at 2 by 2, and then a piece of black cardstock at 2 by 2. You might recognize this pattern for this card if you're a VIP. Okay, so this zip strip, I'm going to cut it to 3.5 inches, and then I'm going to cut it in half. So it's about 1/4 inch by 3.5 inches. And then I'm looking at this piece of Jingle Joy. I thought I was going to be able to use it, but then I changed my mind. Okay, we're good. All right, I'm going to do some stamping with this Happy Cake Day stamp set. And I've got the coordinating thin cuts. So I've pulled a bunch of ink colors that match Cake Day. And I'm just going to stamp out a bunch of these layers of cake. I don't know what I'm going to wind up using. I just want to have a lot to choose from when I start to build my card. So I'm using nectarine and wild berry and lemonade for the candles. You can't really see it, but there's 3 candles there. And glacier. And another layer of cake with wild berry, and then it's not on screen, but also the cake stand in black. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment in black ink on this piece of green apple. It says, "May all your wishes come true." And then I'm going to flip my Versamat back over, and I'm going to doodle a little bit. So these are the Close to My Heart journaling pens. I'm going to use the 0.01, the skinniest one. I'm just going to draw a really thin line around the edges of this square. I'll bring in a slimline card base. I'm just going to lay everything out on my card front just to see what it looks like. So zip strips at the top and bottom. And then I'm going to add these squares and layer them. I thought that last square also needed some doodling around the edges. I'm going to add that. And then I'm going to take my stamped images off screen. I cut them all out, and now I'm going to just color some in using some tri-blend markers. Just really simple coloring. Not doing any shading or blending, just adding some color here. Just a little interest to the candles and the cake stand. And then we can start assembling the card. Okay, super simple, just using some glue and tape runner. I'll put all these pieces down. We'll add some tape runner. This paper has lots of bright, fun colors to work with. And just layering all those pieces up there. Okay, and then I'll add my cake stand and cake with glue and some thin foam tape and tape runner. So I'm just going to use 2 layers of cake here, and I'll save the others to use on the next card. We'll add the candles, and then I'm going to scatter some of these acrylic dots around, wild berry acrylic dots in all different sizes. Quick and simple. Okay, there's the first card, all finished. Lots of bright, happy colors. Okay, let's use some more of these supplies from the mystery envelope to make another card. Okay, so this pattern you might recognize from the In Full Bloom card making workshop. So I'm going to cut a bunch of squares down to 3/4 inches by 3/4 inches, and I need 9 of them. So I'm going to cut 3 of the Cakeday pattern papers, and I'm kind of strategically deciding where to cut. And 3 more of the flip side, which is this green apple pattern paper. And this piece of Jingle Joy, it's 5.5 inches. It's longer than 5.5 inches. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces at 1/4 inch by 5.5. I thought I was going to use black, so I started cutting that at 5.5 inches, but then this silver shimmer trim caught my eye and I decided to use that. So I'm cutting it at 5.5 inches, and then I'm going to cut it in half. So it's about 1/4 inch for 2 pieces there. Give or take. One piece is just a little bit taller and one piece is a little skinnier, but that's okay. Then I'm going to cut some more of this black cardstock at 3/4 inches square. So I'll get 3 of those. Counting all my bits there to make sure I've got what I need to build my card front. I'll bring in another piece of black and cut that last piece, 3/4 inches. Okay. All right, we'll get all the scraps out of the way. And we're ready to start making a card. Okay, so I'm going to stamp some more of these cake layers. First the cake stand, and that's in wild berry, and then candles in Sundance, and another layer of cake in Glacier. Okay, so off screen I've cut them all out with the coordinating thin cuts, and then I'm going to color in my cake stand here with some tri-blend markers. And now we're ready to start building our card. So this is going to be landscape. So I'm just going to add these strips of Jingle Joy. I cut them just a little bit too long, so I'm just trimming off the excess. And then I'm going to layer my shimmer trim on top of it. And then I'll do the same thing at the bottom. And then I'll add my strip of shimmer trim. Cut off the excess there. And then I'll lay out my squares in this pattern. So I'm just going to lay everything out and then I'll adhere it all off screen. I'll skip ahead. So this is the basic pattern. And I'm looking at it. I need to spread those squares out a little bit more. Make them all fit correctly. There we go. Okay, that looks better. All right, now I've got everything glued down, and then I'm just going to trim off the excess off the left and right edge. Got my pattern all going there, and then I can lay down my cake pieces. So I decided that I just wanted the one layer. Otherwise my cake would be too tall. So I think that looks good. I'm going to bring in a tri-blend and add a little color to the candles. And then we can start adhering everything to the card front. Okay. I'll glue down that cake stand. I'll add that layer of cake with some thin foam tape. And the candles. Then I'm going to stamp my sentiment, which says Happy Cake Day. I thought I was going to do it in black, but then I changed my mind, and I'm going to do it in Wildberry. And then for the last touch, I'm going to add some acrylic dots. So all these supplies are currently available in my online store. I'll make a list with links in the description below. And make sure you check out the playlist at the end of the video that has all of the videos from all of the Makers with Hearts and the cool things that they did with all of these supplies in their mystery envelope. I appreciate you watching today. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. And thanks for watching.